is right after I've come home from vacation, and I'm super devastated. I'm super upset. Not for the reasons you might think. I am devastated about those as well, but because I went to edit some videos to put up this week and I lost all of the footage that I took before I left for my vacation. So before I left, I had filmed a bunch of stuff. I was all prepared. I had a couple of videos scheduled, and then I was going to come back and edit some videos over the weekend when I got back. I had the wrap up to my wrap up. I had a pack with me video. I had a bunch of conclusions of videos. I had my TBR spin video that I had done, and I did all this work and I got it all ready and I downloaded it all to my computer. The way that I download things to my computer is I take them directly off the camera and the memory chip and I put them right on an external hard drive. So I use my computer as a conduit to just put it on an external hard drive, which I did the day before I left. And I saw that it was all on that external hard drive, and then I unplugged that external hard drive. I deleted everything off of my camera and off of my memory card, and then I put that external hard drive in my luggage so that I could bring it with me if there was any chance that I could possibly edit while I was away. And then I came back and it was all gone. So either I didn't actually see that it was on my external hard drive before erasing things, or somehow I unplugged it before it was ready, or whatever I did something and I lost this footage, and I found out yesterday when I went to edit a bunch of stuff, and I'm super depressed about it. And after a very tough week, a good week in many ways, a wonderful vacation in many ways, but obviously a devastating week in other ways, both for, me and the world, but also our car broke down on the way home from vacation. A bunch of things have happened. That was kind of the final straw. And so even though it was kind of early in the day yesterday, I couldn't film anything and I couldn't handle anything without being upset. So I decided that I would just wait until today to film something and kind of start to get back on track with the filming that I needed to do and figure out what I'm going to do with all the partial vlogs that I have and partial footage that I have and videos that I don't even know if I want to do anymore because they're gone, so maybe I'll just scrap them. But on a lighter note, on a better note, one of the things that I thought I would do, instead of doing a pack with me video, which I now can't do because I've already packed and mostly unpacked actually, is I will do an unpack with me video. So I have unpacked a bunch of things, but I thought it would be fun to go through the things that I packed and let you know what I used and what I didn't use, how it worked out for me, what my experience was with the items that I brought, and also how I could pack better in the future. If you've watched my channel and you've watched any of my pack with me, you know that I like to pack really light. I only ever bring a backpack and an additional bag or two depending on what I'm doing, where I'm going. This trip, because we were driving, I was able to pack a little bit more. So I packed like an extra pair of shoes that I probably wouldn't have packed, which I didn't use. And I packed 3 or 4 extra sweaters / sweatshirts in the trunk of the car, which I didn't use. And then we also packed a bunch of food and food items that we could bring with us because we knew we would be driving one day, staying overnight, and then driving the rest of the way. So rather than have to go out to eat or rather than have to buy snacks for the road, we just took snacks that we already had, drinks, things like that. So we did use the majority of those things while we were gone, and we didn't actually end up eating out that much, which was great, but we didn't finish a lot of the things that we brought with us. Like we brought a lot of like bags of nuts and peanut butter cups, Halloween candy that we had left over. So we didn't eat all of those on the whole trip, but we did like get into a little bit of everything. I don't think we overpacked too much with the food that we brought. We definitely brought things that were going to go with us the whole trip and then come back with us, and that's okay. As far as other things that we put in the car, I think that's about it. We did, of course, come back with more things than we had brought, partly because we purchased some things during our vacation, and partly because my husband's family, who we were staying with, ended up packing a lot and having a lot and buying a lot while we were there, so we took some stuff back from them as well. We were staying in a rental house like a vacation retreat rental house. So there was garbage. So we did generate a lot of garbage and that got put out with the house, but there was only room for a little bit of recycling. So we did end up bringing back a huge bag of cans that we could recycle here, as well as some cardboard that we could recycle here, and just a little bit of plastic as well. Unfortunately, on that trip, most of those things got thrown away, but we tried to rescue as much as we could that we could bring back and recycle. But so let's get into the actual packing, because I don't want this to be too long. So the first thing I was going to unpack was my extra bag that I bring. This is where I bring all my books, and you'll get to see what I brought, and as well as some of the things that I brought back with me. One of the things that was in that bag is my tripod, which you are now on. Also, I brought the ring light, which I did not end up using. So I did not use any of my camera equipment while I was there. I bring my camera, which I'm also using right now, packed in this bag, and I bring the battery charger for that. I bring my phone charger, my headphones, the hard drive that I use. I pack in one of these two bags depending on what it fits. I like these two bags because they can go right into this bigger bag and, you know, not be obtrusive, but also I can take them out. So for instance, at the end of the trip, we had to rent another hotel room and leave our car at the repair place at a dealership that we found. So I was able to take the valuable stuff out of this bag and leave this bag in the car, but bring this. Other camera equipment that I brought is my plug to plug in the camera. And then I also did buy a new external hard drive because I'm almost done with the external hard drive that I have. But as you can see, I didn't even unpack it. I haven't used it yet. I still have a little room on the other one, but just in case, I wanted to make sure that I had a backup to be able to take stuff off my camera if I needed to. So I always try to buy the 2 terabyte ones. They're much more expensive, but they last so much longer, and then you don't have loads and loads of external hard drives all over with the potential of getting ruined. Other items that I didn't use, I brought a pair of flip-flops because it was in the 70s the whole time we were on vacation, which was really nice, but I didn't end up using them. I only wore the one pair of sneakers the whole time. A couple of souvenirs. We got a donut from the donut fryer, so I saved the bag that it came in. I'll either use this bag the way I would normally use a paper bag, and maybe I'll take a picture of this with some other souvenirs or something like that, or maybe I will keep it and put something in it, but try not to buy any souvenirs. Another non-bought souvenir, which you can't really tell, is this traditional pizza sauce jar that we use while on vacation, but there's some dried dead bugs that we found. There's a stick bug and 2 really beautiful green grasshoppers. And then we have other things that I brought. I brought my work notebook, which I did have to work while I was on vacation. I worked about 8 to 10 hours while I was there. So it was a working vacation for me. Here's an orange that I got at one of the hotels that I haven't eaten yet. And then we did go to the Titanic Museum while I was there, so this is another souvenir. This is a permission granted come aboard fake boarding pass that they give you when you go to the Titanic Museum, and then it has passenger information on the back, and then you are able to see whether your passenger survived the Titanic or not. And I will save the reveal of this for the vlog that I'll do on our trip. So small souvenirs I think are always best. That way you're not getting a lot of stuff, you're not buying a lot of stuff, you're not creating a lot of waste. And those are things that would go to waste. Most people might throw those out after they were done. So better to keep it as a souvenir, use it as a souvenir, think of it as a souvenir than just to idly throw it out. But they both can be recycled, which is nice. And then these are the books that I brought. These were the books that I didn't end up reading. I am currently reading this book of poetry by Maya Angelou, but these were all backups in case I blew through the books that I wanted to read. I did get to read a fair amount while I was on vacation, which was nice, but not as much as I would have liked. My brother-in-law gave us these cat stickers, and this sanitizing wipe from United I think is left over from another trip that was just still in the bag because we didn't fly this trip. So I think this is from my trip to Ohio over the summer. And then as far as clothing goes, I've already put a bunch of stuff in the wash and I've already washed a bunch of stuff, but let's just go through some of the things that I already washed. This California Raisin shirt I did wear. I did wear both of my Literally Dead Book Club / Books and Lala merch. I wore this Literally Dead Book Club shirt and I wore my Mood Reader Books and Lala shirt on vacation. Those are two of my favorite shirts right now, so I always wear them. I did wear a bunch of socks. I brought a bunch of socks that were just like regular socks, and then I also brought some like cozy socks for padding around the house in, which I did wear. This is a Dollywood bag that will also be a souvenir, so there's that. And then I, of course, brought my Catsbury Park Cat Convention bag, which served as like my everyday bag. So when we went out for the day, I would put stuff in this bag. I did wash it though, because at the end of the trip, I put my laundry in it, my dirty laundry. This is one sock that I don't know where the other sock went that I did wear on the trip. I did bring a few tank tops. I wore this one. I usually wear tank tops instead of bras. It works twofold. If it's hot, you can wear it. Here's some panties that I did and didn't wear. Some I did, some I didn't. We did do laundry once on the trip, so I was able to wash some of these items while we were on the trip. This is a bra that I did not wear. These are socks that I did wear. I did bring a bathing suit because they had a hot tub at the house, and also because there were pools at the hotels that we stopped at, but I did not wear this. We didn't go in the hot tub, we didn't go in the pools, even though it was 70 degrees. I wore this green shirt. I brought this Tennessee shirt that I thrifted, but due to events of the week, I didn't feel like wearing bright red, and I am kind of sad about it because I thought bright red would be a color that I'd wear a lot this fall, but now I don't think so. Then this is one of the pair of pants that I brought, and I did wear these as well. So that is everything in my backpack. So other than that, I brought my toiletries in a bag. That's basically it. Like I said, in this bag, I also had the books that I was currently reading, some of which I finished, some of which I haven't. That's about it. My toiletries consist of a hairbrush, soap, which we used all of, toothpaste, toothbrush, obviously, which we used, my inhalers, which I used. I was surprised. I thought I would use them a lot more because I was vacationing with dogs, but I didn't have to, which was nice. That is what I packed, what I brought with me on this vacation, and some of the things that I also brought back. But I thought also what would be fun is to just do a little book haul of the books that I bought while I was away. These books I bought all on the last day, all in Virginia at a bookstore called No New Books that we stopped at because we were stranded in Virginia for 24 hours. So our car did break down, like I said, on the way home, and we stopped at this bookstore, which actually was incredible. It was so good. I could have stayed there for hours and hours. We only had an hour to go through the books and to stay there, but I could have moved in for a week and gone through so many more of the books. So sometimes when I'm at a big bookstore like that, especially a used bookstore, which is really the only way that I shop for books, I get overwhelmed and I don't know what to look for, and there's just so much. And this particular bookstore also had so much backlist. It didn't have a lot of new or current books. Going through backlist, sometimes my mind goes totally blank. So I tend to then just look for mysteries and mystery authors that I love, and I tend to just look for mystery series that I love. So that's what I did here. So every single book, I think, except for one that I bought at this bookstore, are mysteries. So I will start with Last Seen Alive by Dorothy Simpson. This is in the Luke Thanet mysteries, which I have been working my way through, and I was super excited to find The Night She Died, which is the first in the series. This is like the 5th or 6th, I think, and this is the first. So The Night She Died, I think, is out of print now. I have not seen this one, but I can usually find Dorothy Simpson books around. There were a bunch of other ones in the Luke Thanet series as well, but I only took 2 because I didn't want to like take all of the books from someone else. And I tried to pick the ones that were the most early in the series. So Long a Letter by Marimba Ba. I had heard good things about this. She is a Senegalese author, and this is a epistolary novel, I think about a man's life, but he's telling it in retrospect through letters. I picked up Julie Smith's 82 Desire, which is in the Skip Langdon series, which is all set in New Orleans. I've been working my way through this series. It was mostly written in the 90s and the early 2000s. It's kind of hard to find the later books in this series. For some reason, the first like 3 or 4 books are not that difficult to find, but the later books are, and this is one of the later in the series, so I pick them up whenever I can. Here's Julie Smith on the back. And speaking of Julie Smith, I also found Death Turns a Trick, a Rebecca Schwartz mystery. I have never read anything in the Rebecca Schwartz series, so I'm excited to try a book in a different series by Julie Smith. Then, probably the most exciting thing that I found was The Deadly Truth by Helen McCloy. This is an American mystery writer who I have read one book from before, and her stuff is all out of print. So this, I believe, is in her Dr. Basil Willings series, which is what I had read before, and the first of which is Dance of Death. So Dance of Death is out of print. I know because I've looked for it pretty often, and it's really hard to find any copies of her book that are not digital. So you can read her work digitally, but because I don't read digitally really, I'm always on the lookout. So this is only the second book that I've ever found by her. So I was super excited to find this one, and it looks amazing. And then all the rest of the books are Mary Robert Reinhardt books. So I was lucked out that there were a lot of Mary Robert Reinhardt's books. I got this one, which is the Mary Robert Reinhardt crime book, and that is The Door, The Confession, and The Red Lamp. This looks to be one of those book club editions where they combined a bunch of different books of hers. I have already read The Red Lamp. That was the first Mary Robert Reinhardt that I read, and I really enjoyed that, and I've really enjoyed all her other work as well. So I was super excited to find this one. I also found a Dover mystery classic, like thrift edition of her work, which I don't see very often. The words are very small, but this is The Case of Jenny Bryce. So I think almost all of her work are standalone. I also have The Great Mistake, A Family's Secret is Unmasked with Violent Consequences. So this is a great little old edition with green sprayed edges. And these editions always had this where it was like the cover was ripped on the back, but now it's like so old you're like, wait, is the cover ripped? I also got Dangerous Days, which also has the sprayed edges, and this is a novel of romance and suspense. She's an American Golden Age mystery, a queen of crime similar to Dorothy L. Sayers and Agatha Christie. In addition to writing traditional mystery novels, she also wrote romantic suspense. That's what this is, and I have a couple of other books of hers as well that are like that, like The Bat and a few others. This has an inscription that says, Louisa P. Foley, 31st August, 1973. And then these are two newer editions of her work, one of which I have read before, which is Miss Pinkerton, but I have the sequel to Miss Pinkerton in the same edition. So this is the only book that I bought that I already owned, because there were so many Mary Robert Reinhardts in all different editions, some from the 70s, some from the 80s, and these earlier editions that I wanted to buy all of them, even if I already had them, but I also wanted to leave some for other people. Like there were like 10 Mary Robert Reinhardt books, and if it were up to me, I would have bought all of them, but you have to like encourage other people to read the authors that you love, so I didn't want to buy them all. But I did buy this copy of Miss Pinkerton to go with my copy that is the same coverway of the second in the series. And then I also got the album in this coverway, which is pretty, I mean, the cover is pretty incredible. Those were all the books that I bought at No New Books. Right before we left, I picked up A Wayland from A Little Free Library, so I thought I would just include this now. This is short stories by Ramona Acebel. I have never read this author, but I knew that I had wanted to read other of her works, and so when I saw this one, I just picked it up. It also has a really great cover. My BFF who was watching our cats left this book, The Lone Ranger and Tonto Fistfight in Heaven by Sherman Alexie, who is a Native American author, in the car that he left with us to be donated or sold. So I thought I would include this in the book haul as well. I haven't read any Sherman Alexie yet, but I do have a couple of his works, and I am excited to get to it, so I will definitely be reading this before I return it to my friend. So that's my unpack with me, all the things that I used and didn't use while I was on vacation, as well as the books that I picked up in my travels. I'm super happy to have picked up a bunch more Golden Age mysteries and a bunch of mysteries by authors that I really love. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I mentioned here. Let me know what you thought of them. Let me know what I should prioritize. Also, let me know what kind of packer you are. Would you have packed more than me? Would you have packed less than me? Keep in mind that some of the clothes that I packed are in the wash, so I haven't showed them to you here. Another pair of pants and a few other things. But let me know how you think I did on my packing. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!